From Ashlee Simpson's embarrassing lip-syncing controversy to Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson's unfortunate Super Bowl performance, these are artists that destroyed their careers in seconds.
Back in the early 2000s, Ashlee Simpson had taken over the world of pop with her chart-topping hits like Pieces of Me. The young star skyrocketed to fame overnight, all thanks to her fresh sound and her unfiltered music. People thought that the release of her 2004 debut album titled Autobiography was only the beginning for her, destined to be one of the greatest pop icons in the world. But it all changed in 2004 when Ashlee was invited to perform on Saturday Night Live, a moment that could have defined her career in all the right ways. But let's just say that night didn't go as planned. It all started with a perfectly executed rendition of Pieces of Me on the iconic stage. But disaster struck right after that. While Ashlee was getting ready to perform her song Autobiography, what happened was something that no one saw coming. Ashlee was lip-syncing. The opening vocals to the song started playing while Ashlee's mic was down at her side, and of course, in that moment, Ashlee realized that nothing could fix this mistake. So what did she do? The young star launched into an impromptu hoedown, a dance that would go on to become a timeless internet meme. Retreating backstage, the sting of embarrassment clear as day, she muttered an apology, blaming the mix-up on her band playing the wrong song. But the situation and Ashlee's career was beyond saving at that point. Later on in an interview, she opened up and blamed her acid reflux for her reliance on a backing vocal track. After that, Ashlee did attempt comebacks, but the public wasn't having it, considering she was booed at her Orange Bowl performance in January 2005, and her record sales unfortunately never recovered. She opened up about the fallout from the ordeal on her reality TV series, Ashlee and Evan, in 2018. Simpson revealed that she was topping the charts, but everything fell apart, and the world started hating her for this SNL moment. But guess what? Ashlee wasn't the only person whose career was ruined on the show. Sinead O'Connor had to go through the same thing. In the late 80s and early 90s, Sinead emerged as a rebel, the complete opposite of the pop idols of her time, with her unique voice and almost mysterious persona. Of course, people fell in love with her instantly. Her single Nothing Compares to You spiraled through the airwaves and turned the Irish artist into an international star. But turns out that the very reason people loved her was what ultimately ruined her career. In 1992, O'Connor was on Saturday Night Live, performing an a cappella rendition of Bob Marley's War. But she didn't stop there. The singer proceeded to tear up a picture of Pope John Paul as a way to protest against child assault. And of course, that didn't sit well with anyone. All it took was one performance for the entire world to be outraged at her. Sinead had completely disappeared from the American pop scene by 1993, and while she did go on to release more albums, her career never really took off like it could have. In the end, whether you like her or hate her, Sinead O'Connor is a name etched in pop culture history, not just as a singer, but as a relentless force that refused to be silenced. I can't say the same about Robin Thicke, though, whose career is pretty much done for. But let's throw it back to 2013. Thicke was the man of the hour, with a hit single that had everyone dancing, but still divided. Sure, Blurred Lines was catchy, but let's not kid ourselves. It also ruffled more than a few feathers. Critics called it out, slapping labels like misogynistic and consent trivializing on a tune that was as popular as it was problematic. But hey, no publicity is bad publicity, right? Wrong. Cue the VMAs and Thicke's performance with Miley Cyrus, a combo that was meant to be an explosion of entertainment, but ended up being a recipe for disaster. Outrageous and vulgar. It was definitely not the kind of performance you'd want to show the wife and kids. Then came the plot twist no one asked for. Paula Patton, Thicke's wife, packed her bags and said goodbye to him, and what did Thicke do? He went full on public with the heartbreak. His attempts to serenade Paula back into his life were more cringe than romantic. Live performances became pleas for redemption. Don't even get me started on his album titled Paula. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. Each attempt to salvage his crashing career just added more fuel to the fire. Blurred Lines was meant to be Thicke's golden ticket, but between the backlash, the VMA's fiasco, and the Paula saga, it turned into a one-way ticket to the blacklist of pop culture. Pretty similar to what happened with the Dixie Chicks, who were once the darlings of country music, soaring the charts until they found themselves in the eye of a political hurricane. Let's rewind to 2003, when the world was in turmoil and the USA had gone to war with Iran. Enter Natalie Maines, the voice that not only defined the Dixie Chicks, but also dared to take a political stand, no matter how controversial. At a concert in England, while the fans were busy singing and dancing, a single moment changed the course of the Dixie Chicks' journey. But what happened? In front of the whole crowd, Natalie's denounced the invasion of Iraq and didn't shy away from expressing her disappointment that President Bush was a fellow Texan. Now, across the pond, the Brits were pretty neutral about it, but back in the homeland, oh, it was a wildfire of backlash. The American dream turned into a full-blown nightmare for the Chicks. They were stamped as anti-American, and the nation was no longer in love with these country queens. Even celebrities didn't shy away from throwing shade. But fast forward to 2020, the Chicks tried to make a comeback with their first studio album in 14 years, dropping Gaslighter. Then again though, the momentum was lost, and they couldn't really make the impact that they once did. The only thing that comes close to this mess up is Janet Jackson's fall from grace. Born into the royal family of pop, the Jacksons, Janet wasn't just Michael's little sister, she was a queen in her own right. With her distinct voice and music videos that were entire visual spectacles, Janet went from being the girl next door to a global icon. Dance moves as iconic as the moonwalk, a style as memorable as the king of pop's glitter glove. Janet was the dream, the fantasy, the icon the pop world didn't know it was waiting for. But everything changed in 2004. At the Super Bowl, where the halftime show proved to be as monumental as the game itself, entered Janet and the Pop Prince, Justin Timberlake, ready to set the stage ablaze with a performance for the ages. But who could have known that it would be remembered for all the wrong reasons? During the performance, Janet Jackson experienced a wardrobe malfunction like no other, which gave rise to a term named Nipplegate that's etched in the history of pop culture. Imagine the pop queen's dignity momentarily compromised. Timberlake's hand, Jackson's exposed breast, and a global audience in collective shock, a moment that would spiral into one of the most notorious moments in live television history. But was it all planned? Well, that's the mystery. While Timberlake was supposed to unveil a red lacy bra, the actual act was anything but sexy. The Federal Communications Commission actually slammed down a proposed $550,000 fine, and MTV got the boot from future halftime shows. As far as Janet is concerned, well, let's just say she wasn't able to perform on a stage as big as that ever again. But don't be fooled, because she didn't give up there. Janet made a strong return with her 2015 album Unbreakable, hitting #1 on the Billboard 200. The comeback marked a renaissance, earning critical acclaim and the adoration of fans worldwide once again. But even after that, she was never really able to live Nipplegate down.
From Ashlee Simpson's embarrassing lip-syncing controversy to Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson's unfortunate Super Bowl performance, these are artists that destroyed their careers in seconds.